folks, it's Cortezerino. My friends from EB Productions have asked me to do a video for their building tricks series. So I am going to do 5 building tricks for medieval farms. So it is one thing to build yourself a windmill and plant a little bit of wheat and say, yes, I have a medieval farm. But there are so many little details you can add to really make the place come alive. And the first building trick we're going to cover is the wheat fields, specifically the fences. So when you build your wheat fields, you don't want to have just one vast field. You want to break it up into smaller fields, and we're going to use bushes for the fences because a simple fence doesn't look very good. But we're not just going to put bushes straight on the ground. We need to do a bit of preparation first. So what you want to do is map out where you want your fence to go, and using coarse dirt, we're going to place it in the ground like so. Now you could use podsol here, but I prefer to reserve podsol for vegetable patches and stuff like that. And if you want to, for a bit of extra detail, you can mix in a bit of brown concrete powder. So this field is a little bit on the small side, but it's just to give you an idea. Go away, chicken! Don't eat my seeds. So what you want to do is keep your lines nice and curved. I probably wouldn't go any more than 4 or 5 blocks in a straight line before you make a curve. So next thing you want to do is grab some oak fence posts and just randomly place them every 7 to 10 blocks around your field. I personally don't think they look good when you have them joining to a block, so I like to have them just sticking up like that. And there we go, we've got a line of them all the way around, and in one spot, one or two spots, I would put 2 together because they will look like either gates or a way to step over the hedges. Then what you can do is, on top of your coarse dirt, run around placing jungle leaf blocks. I think the jungle ones look a lot better than any other leaf block because they look more like bushes to me. And then just for a little bit of variation, every now and then we're going to come up a block. And it's good to do that also on top of the fence posts. Not on every one, but just every now and then come up another block. And coming up another block with our leaf blocks can also look good when we are coming up a level on the ground. So you can add an extra leaf block or 2 just so you can still see your fence. Once we've planted the wheat and it's grown, it's going to be a little bit harder to see our bushes. So the next thing to do is to plant your wheat. And no, we don't have any water to hydrate this earth, so you want to hoe probably about 5 blocks and then plant your seeds. And that, guys, is just a more interesting way of putting a fence around your wheat field. Now it doesn't look too impressive right here, but as soon as you start planting a few fields, it looks a lot better. And you can also mix it up by not planting in some of the fields, just leaving coarse dirt down there instead to look like the field's just been harvested and it's getting ready for another planting. And you don't have to plant wheat, you can also do things like flowers or vegetable gardens, stuff like that. So that is tip number 1, guys. Number 2 is we can't just have fields. Farms need to be doing other things. So we are going to do, for trick number 2, fruit trees. So we want to plant our fruit trees in rows. But there are straight lines in Minecraft, and then there are straight lines. So we are going to do ours on a bit of an angle. So using the same trick we did under the bushes, we're going to place coarse dirt into the ground, and this time you don't want to put more than 3 blocks in a straight line. You could do more, I guess, but that's my preference. And then what you want to do is skip 2 blocks, and then you can start your next row just mirroring exactly the one you've got over there, just leaving a 2 block gap. And don't finish them in exactly the same spot. You can mix it up a little bit, and yeah, just do a few of them. Okay, we've made a few rows to plant our fruit trees, but this doesn't look very good. So what you want to do is grab yourself a shovel and just make these coarse dirt blocks stand out a bit more with some path blocks all around the sides, and then when you get to the edges, just put a few random ones here and there so you're not finishing in a dead straight line of path blocks. There we go, that is looking 100 times better already. So next what you want to do is grab some fence posts, grab a different color than what you use for the fences. So I'm going to use spruce here, and we're just going to place one every second block in our row. And make sure when you're placing them that if you look down the row, they are all directly in line with each other. It'll just look a lot better when you're done. So next we're going to put some oak leaves on top. Once again, using a different block than we use for our fences. So I'm using oak, but you could use acacia or birch. So just run along, putting either 2 or 3 leaf blocks on top of each of these, and randomize it a little bit so you don't have all the 3 high ones in a big clump together. And there we have our fruit trees, guys. So once again, it doesn't look too impressive here all by itself. But once you get your fruit trees in amongst your buildings and the fields, it can be just the extra little detail that you're looking for. And speaking of that, that brings us to the building trick number 3, and we're going to go for something completely different this time, because farms always have broken down machinery lying around, and our farm is going to be no different. So down here I've got a broken down millstone, and I'm going to show you how to build it. So this one is a little more detailed, so I've built myself something to copy off if I forget how to build it. So the first thing you want to do is dig a line in the ground that is 7 blocks long, and then just to the right of it, dig another line that's 5 blocks long. Then you can do 2 blocks there and 2 blocks there. Then grab yourself some cobblestone stairs. I'm going to place a line of them like so, connecting them all together until we get to the end. Then grab some cobblestone blocks and punch out that block, place one there, and we'll do the same on the other side, and we will also replace that stair with cobblestone and put 3 there. Now for the round millstone, we're going to do 2 andesite blocks like so, then an upside down cobble stair and a right way up one on top of that, and we'll do that on both sides, and we'll finish with a cobblestone slab on top. Now break that block right there, grab some chiseled stone bricks, place him there with a cobblestone wall on top. Now for the rest of the blocks, you could just place them randomly if you wanted to, but I'll show you how I've done mine there if you want to copy it. So you can break these 4 blocks right here, and we're going to place 2 slabs there and 2 andesite blocks right there. Now break out the 4 in the corners, and this is why I built this one, because I'm forgetting already. That's right. So we're going to place a cobblestone slab right there, and then mossy cobblestone in the other 3. Then break the 3 blocks here, 3 there, and the 3 on this side. And we'll place another mossy cobblestone there, and then just regular cobblestone all the way along. Now this is overgrown, so what you want to do now is grab some grass blocks and just bring it all the way up to the edge like it's half buried in dirt. And then just go around, guys, and rough it up a bit. Remember, this is really old and unused, so just add a few details like ferns, vines, coarse dirt, and bushes. And you'll notice underneath these bushes I've got podzol. If you don't think that's a good idea, walk outside and have a look under a bush. There is never green grass under there. And we're using jungle bushes again, the same as we used in our fences for our fields. So that, guys, is a broken down millstone and is a great addition to any wheat farm. Which brings us to the building trick number 4. What if you don't want to build wheat fields? Maybe you want to build a vineyard for your farm. So building trick number 4, guys, is how to build grapevines. So the first detail for building your vines is one that no one is ever going to notice, you want to run your lines of vines from north to south. And the reason for that is so the grapes can get the proper amount of sunlight. And you might think, well, that's kind of pointless in Minecraft, but it will work out in your benefit, because if you build a whole lot of vineyards all over the place, the last thing you want is for your vines to be running in different directions. It's just going to look weird. So north to south, guys, and we are doing the exact same trick that we did for our fruit trees over there. So we're using coarse dirt. I haven't mixed in the brown concrete powder here, but you can do that. So just lines of them, but this time we are bending them much more gradually than we did with our fruit trees. So what you want to do now is grab some oak fences, and on the end of each of these lines, you want to put them in the ground there on top of the coarse dirt, 2 blocks tall. Now, unlike the fruit trees where we just used fences for the stems, we are going to use dead bushes this time. They look so much better for grapevines. So starting 1 block in from your posts, place dead bushes every second block. And if you have this problem like I did here, when I get to the end and the dead bush is right next to the pole, you could leave it that way if you wanted to, or you could just move your pole in a little bit more, and we will fix up that bit of coarse dirt with the path block. There we go. So now we're using jungle leaves again. They're the best looking. We're going to run a line of them above. Oops, can't do that apparently. You can't place it directly on top of the dead bush. So 1 block above our dead bushes, we're going to run it all the way along directly above our coarse dirt. Whoops, we've got to come down one here. And the last thing to do for a final bit of detail, just run some vines around the place just randomly, and when they grow, they will look pretty. And that is it, guys. That is building trick number 4. So what are we going to do for number 5? Well, we've built our vineyard. We're going to need some accessories. So building trick number 5 is actually 2 different builds, but they serve the same purpose. We're going to need a grape press to crush the grapes. Once we make our wine, we're going to need some wine barrels. So the grape press is super duper easy, guys. Just grab yourself a cauldron, pop a dirt block, any kind of block on top, then grab an armor stand and break your block so it drops in like that. Then we're going to grab a sign, and there we go. Place it just on top of the cauldron. We've got a grape press, but if you want a little bit of extra detail, you can also grab some spruce trapdoors and run them around the sides. So that was super duper easy, but the wine barrel has a little bit more to it. So I'm just going to place a temporary block right there, and grab some oak stairs, place them like so, and break that block. And we're going to put a slab right there. Then we're going to skip 2 blocks and do the exact same thing right here. Alright guys, next I want you to grab some spruce wood planks and place 4 of them like so. Do that 2 more times, so it's 3 blocks tall, and then on each side place another 4 like so. Then grab some spruce stairs, and in the middle 2 blocks we're going to place 2 upside down there, and 2 the right way up on that side, and we'll do it over here as well, like so. Now grab yourself, it could be spruce wood, could be any kind of wood. We're going to build a little bit of a frame around, that was too long, we don't want to go that far. A little bit of a frame around your wine barrel just to hold it in place. Now if you're building a wine cellar, this could be the pillars holding the roof up. I've done it again. I've made it too long. What are you doing, Cortez? There we go. But we actually need these here because we're going to be placing some rail on top of them. So place 2 like that, and then you can break that one. 2 like that, break the one on top. We'll run around to the back and we'll do that on this side as well. There we go. So now we've done the bottom. I want you to come up to the top, and we're going to place 3 across the top on each end like so. And then for these bits on the sides, we're going to use ladders to complete the band around our wine barrel. What are you doing, man? You're ruining my recording. Go away. I didn't mean to kill you. I'm sorry. The last detail is just right down the bottom here. We're going to place a tripwire hook for the tap, and then underneath the tap to catch any drips, I'm going to put a flower pot. So I hope you enjoyed this tips and tricks video for medieval farms, and I'd like to thank the guys from EB Productions for letting me do this video for their channel. But you can also check out my channel in the description, guys, if you want to see some more of my builds. There's even a tutorial for that windmill you can see up the back there. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm Cortezerino. See you later.